been able to stop the World Eaters, and the Orcs have been spotted and are inbound for this city. There have been reports of a big bust up, and they've finally reached Gruk face-rippa, so he wants a part of it. So the weakened Imperial force has pulled back, and they've opened the way for a green skin attack upon the World Eaters. And the World Eaters, they love a challenge, so they've refused to pull out. Okay, so once again for this game, we're using the open war cards because they were just so fun the last time. Going to give it yet another go because we've been getting some good results when we use these. So we're not using the N2 decks again, they're not needed for this this battle. So just the 3, so the deployment will be that sort of arrowhead, so we'll roll off to see who's who in that one. Objective will be the prize, we'll read through that in a second. And then the twist on the battle will be restoratives. So we'll have a look at that just now. Alright, so I've had a read. It's going to be quite interesting. So the prize is basically just like the relic. So there's one objective in the centre of the board, and then a model has to go and carry that away. So the game lasts for 5 turns, and if you drop it, if you're killed, the opponent places the objective an inch within the person who is killed, but you've got to hang on to it to win the game by turn 5. And restoratives, this was very interesting. Each player may pick a friendly unit at the start of their turn. The unit regains D3 lost wounds. So that is very apt for tying in with characters who might pick up the prize. This is going to be interesting. 2,000 points of Orcs. We're using the Goth clan, and we've got a load of command points in this one. We've got a battalion for 3, Battleforge for 3, and then an extra one because we've got a heavy detachment as well. So we've got 4 HQs, in fact we've got 5. So leading the force is Gruk face-rippa, and he will have the tenacious survivor warlord trait, so he's almost back to his former self. He's going to ignore wounds on a 6. We've got PM Boy, got Orderly, Shock Attack Gun. He's a must. He's just such a cool guy. We've got a Big Mech with custom force field. He's got a big chopper. He's got a custom blaster. Got a big unit of 30 boys and Power Claw for each knob leader, because we've got 2 more packs of boys here. Each one is 20 for these 2. And these all got shooters, 2 big shooters in each mob, and Power Claw. We've got tank busters, 10 of them, 2 bomb squigs. They're going to have a go around in a truck with a rocket. We've got 3 cans, 2 with rockets and a Grodzuka. We've got a Morganort with the custom force field on the top as well. And we've got 2 Death Dreads, armed the same with many arms, as many Power Claw arms as you can get on. And we've got Snickrot. So he heard that Sly Marbo is coming back, and he wants his chance of being a one-man army, so he's going around by himself. He's going to be the Orky assassin. And what we're going to do is, because we already know the rules for the Orcs in chapter approved, we don't actually have the book, but via leaks and stuff, we've got the information. So the Orcs have 2 stratagems. One is combined squads, as the Astra Militarum sort of have it. You've got to have 10 of the same Orc units, they combine. I don't think we're going to do that one this game, so I'm not too worried about that one. But Data was promoted on the Games Workshop community website. Just means you select an infantry unit, or bike unit in fact. If you roll a 6 to hit, you get a shot of the same kind. So exploding dice, as some people call it. So those are 2 to look out for.
Right, so we've got 2,000 points of World Eaters here, the Chaos Force. And they're led by the Demon Prince, you can see there, and he has the Unholy Fortitude warlord trait. And next to him, in front of him, we've got Khan, and we've got 5 squads of Khorne Berserkers, and you can see how they're kitted out there. And we've got a unit of Terminators. At the back we've got some bikes, chainsaws of course. We've got a couple of Land Raiders there, as you see, and a Rhino.
Right, both forces have deployed now. And it's worth mentioning we still are playing Cities of Death rules because we are in the city, so why not? It's the best thing to do. So if you're in cover and you stay there for a turn, you get an extra 1 to your cover save, and if you're up a height you get to deny cover on people a level underneath you. So there's a few more rules, so if you want to have a look at that, it's very good rules to add to your game. So that's what we're doing still. It's the way to go. And we've got the objective down, it's in the centre, it's the skull. The servo skulls seem to be important in this city. This one knows the location of the Forge World, of wherever these objective cache came from, or the ammo cache rather. So this is how the deployment worked up. We rolled off which way the arrowhead was going to point. It's pointing this way. Then roll off to see who claims the deployment, and the Orcs get the arrowhead towards the objective. So they're basically on the objective already. So you may already be thinking this is a hard one for the World Eaters to go in and get that, but they're a good army to do that. They were going to go forward anyway. So the squig hide boot is definitely on the other foot today, because last time it wasn't this way. It was all the World Eaters way, but not today. So the World Eaters are going to have to go in there and make it happen. So they've got World Eaters in here, the Berserkers. We've got the bikes, Demon Prince, Khan and his squad in this Rhino. And then over here we've got another 2 squads of Berserkers in this Rhino, Land Raider, ready to move out. And for Orc deployment, we've got the Rocket Boy squad in the truck on this wing. We've got a unit of boys here with the shooters, another unit of boys here with the shooters. We've got the big mass of choppers and sluggers in the centre. We've got the 3 characters lined up. We've got Gruk in the front, we've got the Pain Boy, and then the custom force field. It's pretty hard to tell who's who in that scrum down there. We've got the 2 Death Dreads on the wings there. We've got Killer Cans in the centre, Morkanaut, he's looking to tangle with the Land Raider if anyone comes close. And then in the sniper's nest in the top is the shock attack gun. And in reserve we've got the World Eaters Terminators, they're ready to teleport into battle. And Snickrot is also in hiding, so he'll enter the game in the same manner that the Terminators do. The World Eaters, they've finished up setting up first, so using the new chapter approved way you start the game. The World Eaters, it's basically a roll off to see who goes first. The World Eaters will get a +1 to that dice roll, 4 being the ones who finished first because they would naturally have the smaller army. So World Eaters, they get a 4 +1, so that's 5, and the Orcs get a 5, so that's tie. Go for roll again. Get a 5. Ooh, Orcs go first. So Orcs will be going first unless the World Eaters can stop that by stealing the initiative.
You'll see.
Okay, turn 1 for the Orcs and they start to move out. Most units have advanced, but the Orcs can charge and advance if you're around the war boss. So 1 unit is at least. The big posse, they actually roll 6 for an advance, so they've flooded right out of the gates. They're going to look to just take the fight straight to the World Eaters. They just can't be restrained, Orcs, so just don't let them, just let them do it. They know best, I'm sure they do. This unit of boys, they move into this building here, so they're occupying that now. Good runs from the Death Dreads. This one goes around the corner there, he's making his way towards the coordinate lines. This one, again, goes the maximum distance it can go, full 12 with his advance, and he's on his way to sort out that Land Raider. In support of the Big Brother though, the Morkanaut will be shooting this truck with all of the rocket attacks. Swung around the corner here, it's going to get shots on the Land Raider, and so the Killer Cans. So the only thing that can fire as well is the shock attack gun. So he's got his pick of targets, he's going to mop up whoever survives all this rocket attack. But this is the most important thing of the turn. Gruk now finishes his turn on the objective, so So he can now move away with that if he chooses to. So he's shoulder to shoulder with the paint boy. He's going to patch him up if needs be. But he shouldn't be getting shot anytime soon. He's got his little precious little trinket. What will he do? To start off the shooting phase, we're going to have the tank busters. They're going to try and bust a tank. A land raider in the distance. And what we're going to do as well, we're going to play this data stratagem from the new chapter approved book. So if we roll these 6s to hit, it generates an extra attack. So rocket boys as well, or tank busters rather, they get a re-roll or failed hit rolls against vehicles as well. So 5s to hit, because they are assault weapons. So we've got 3 6s there, so we're going to get an extra 3 shots, but we can re-roll all of these in addition. Right, there's another 2. Absolutely amazing stuff. Right, so we've got 2 hits and then 5 extra hits because of that fancy new shiny stratagem. So no, and then we'll get a re-roll because of being tank busters. Right, and then we get 2 more. Nice. Right, tank busters are lethal. I've been up against them and they are lethal, but 2+ armor save will serve you well. But we are wounding on 4s here. This is the hard part, but not too hard if you've got your orky ways about you. So there's 6 wounds to save. It's AP -2, so you're saving on 4s, and each of these is 3 damage. Oh dear. Right, so there's 4 fails, so that is 4 times 3, that's 12 wounds straight out of the blocks. Do you wish to reroll one with a command point to try and save yourself a bit? Nope, so just have to accept that damage. These rockets are lethal at 3 damage each. Right, that Land Raider's only got 4 wounds left now. It's on its last tier of damage. It was furious shooting from the Orcs. These tank busters have been on the receiving end. Nasty. So we're going to do the rocket from the truck now on a 5. Nope. And then we've got 2 rockets from these cans here. They're going to target the Land Raider as well. So these hit on the 4s, which are operated by Grot. So we get 1 hit. Needing a 4, we get it. Again, you need to save on a 4. Does not do it. Do you want to re-roll that?
No.
No, it's on its last wound, that Land Raider, then rockets at 3 damage. Lethal. I've had a few more trivial shots at the Land Raider since it's on its last wound now. We've had some snap firing big shooters, or hitting on 6s rather, because the advanced snap fire doesn't exist. Gruk had a shot with his rocket launcher but missed. He needed a 6 as well because he advanced. So we're going to come back to that, see if we can deal with this Land Raider first. So we're going to have the Morgonaut fire at him now. All weapons. So we've got 2 rockets coming at him. Both miss. And then we've got the custom blaster in the belly. It's cocked. And that misses as well. And then we're going to fire the custom mega cannon. So this is D6 shots out of this. So we're getting 4 shots, hitting on 5s. So we got 2 hits, strength 8. So we're needing 4s. And we'll get them both. Right, this is AP -3, I think. I'll just have to check. It is AP -3. So 5s to save for this Land Raider. So saves 1, 1's in the gutter. And that one is a 5, so save them both. Alright. Okay, big shooter. Double twiddling big shooter. They have a go at the Land Raider, don't do anything. And so it's now down to the Big Mac up on high. He's going to fire up his shot attack gun. He's the last one to fire. And I think we're just going to see this Land Raider off in the corner. I think that's the best thing to do. So he gets D6 shots out the shot attack gun. We're getting 5. It's very nice. So he's hitting on 5s. In fact, no, sorry. I need to find out the strength of this first before we do anything. So it's going to be strength. Ooh, 9. Nasty. He knows how to do it, this guy. So we've got 5 shots at strength 9. You're supposed to work out the strength before you do anything, but with the Orcs we get carried away. This is what kind of things you can expect. So 5s then. 5s to hit at strength 9. So we get 2 hits, and that's pretty good. So it's strength 9, needing 3s to wound. We get 1. And this is AP -5, so it just carves straight through the Land Raider's hull for D3 damage, but it's on its last wound anyway, so that is now riddled with teleporting grots and explodes, or might explode.
Down here.
Does not explode, but there might be casualties inside. Okay, so we just rolled off camera for what should have been a routine couple of casualties in a blast. Instead, there was 10 on board, and rolled 6 ones, so 6 berserkers have died, only 4 survivors out of that. So when your tank gets riddled with grots, it's very severe. 6 veterans of the Long War just made it this far and then meet the untimely end when a grot just appears inside the face. So the fun doesn't stop there for the Orcs. What we're going to do is this squad is going to charge the bikes and the Demon Prince, because he's surely going to heroic intervene, so we might as well charge him as well. And there's a rhino sneakily in the doorway. Do we charge that? Yes, we're just going to go on a massive auto charge. So this is what we're going to do. It's a 10-inch charge to the bikes. They're the primary target, everyone else is secondary. You can advance and charge because Gruk is on hand. If we do make this charge, it's going to pull all of the Orcs out of the area, potentially leaves Gruk vulnerable, but you know, Orcs got to do what Orcs got to do. So here we go, 10-inch charge. Ooh, that's a 6, and that's a cocked die. Oh, it's getting nervous. 10, that's what we need. Wow. Right, the boys have made their charge and they're flooding in. We've yet to do our pile-in move yet, but that's how we've ended up trying to keep away from the Demon Prince so he can't heroically intervene. And we're going to try and pile in onto this rhino, and I think it's possible since we did declare a charge against it. So here we go. Just moving the building out of the way for E so we can see what's going on, and this is how it looks all the way down the line. Still not within 3 of the Prince. Got most of the boys on the bikes and some on the rhino, so this is going to be bloody a lot of dice. We did lose 2 in the Overwatch to the bikes, but the Orcs are going to come in with this attacks to rival the Berserkers even here. Okay, so we've resolved all the combats now. The Orcs managed to take out 3 bikes, put a wound on this rhino as well. We've piled in just a little bit and the bikes fight back, don't kill any Orcs. Demon Prince is just standing there furious that he can't join the combat. The Orcs outsmarted him, who would have thought? Right, so last things to do is morale check for the bikes. A 6 will lose 1. Nope, they're going to stay on a 2. So they'll fight on. And the Orcs looking in pretty good shape here. We've still got Gruk on the objective. With the Orcs going forward and couldn't rein them in, didn't want to rein them in. It's left a big opening where he might just swing this Land Raider towards Gruk and try and shoot him down. Well, it's turn 1. They're responding to this Orc aggression with aggression of their own. So the bikes have pulled out of combat. They're going on their journey. This horribly depleted attack from the World Eaters over here. It's just 4 men now. They're going to have to be brave and suck it up and get in there. This unit gets out of the rhino. Khan's there with them. They're going to look to get a charge on this big posse here. This is going to be a fight. Big time fight. The Demon Prince, he leaps over and he's got the relic that allows you to assault and charge, so the Orcs have been outfoxed there, didn't know he had that, so he's on his way now. He's closer than whatever thought, and Gruk's just going to have to... He's got the high ground, but that might not work still, so he's going to have to cross his clawy fingers and hopefully he comes out of that one. Terminators, they deep strike in and they're now got their combi plasmas ready to go. Don't know what they're going to fire at, but there's more plasmas in each of these squads. They've just burst out of this rhino Land Raider, and they're going to take the fight to the Orcs. Right, World Eaters shooting, they're going to start letting this plasma go. So this squad here is going to fire first. The champion isn't overcharging his plasma pistol, but the other 2 are. So off you go, and hitting on 3s. So that's only 1 hit from an overcharged plasma pistol. And he does get the wound, right, so we need to save on an invulnerable 5 because we are within range with the Morgonaut. No, so that goes through, so it's suffered 2 wounds already. Then we've got the non-overcharged plasma pistol, and that is a weird dice. No, that misses as well, right. So these Death Dreads have 8 wounds each, so down to 6 left on him.
So that's 2 ball guns.
So you're going to throw a grenade at him, it's the wise option.
Right.
So grenade hits, and 2 is no good. Right. Right, Terminators, they're going to shoot the Morgonaut next, so they're all going to overcharge these plasma guns. So who's firing first?
We're starting here.
Alright, these have got reroll 1s because of the Demon Prince. So the first one does get that 1. It looks proved to be fatal. No, 2 hits. Next guy. Just one hit, so there's 3 hits so far. And then next guy, it's this one. And he rolls that fatal one again, gets a reroll, so they convert. And then the last guy in the centre, he gets 1 hit. Right, so 6 hits in total. Right, so there's 5 hits there, so strength 8 against toughness 8, needing 4s. So 2 go through. Right, so we're going to need vulnerable 5 saves to block any of these. We'll make 1 fill once we're taking 2 wounds on the Morganord. It does have 18, so it's got 16 left, so it's still a long way to go. Right, I've got the Reaper autocannon now, 4 shots. Hitting on 4s because it's a heavy weapon. Okay, it gets 3. It's only strength 7, so just the 1. There's AP minus 3, but that goes through, right? So there's a second wound for it, so it's down to 15 wounds now. Land Raider, it's going to shoot at the Morganord, so 4 las cannons at the ready. 3 hits, so 3's to wound. Gets 2, right? These are dangerous shots, just like always, so 5s. Oh, double 6, I like it. Twin Heavy Bolter was next to fire. We need 3 saves for the Gorgonauts, and he saves on 4s against these, and he gets them all. Doing well. He's doing really well. We've got a plasma pistol here, firing on this Death Dread, not overcharged, so it gets a hit, doesn't wound. Now we've got some ball pistols to try and damage it further. So 3 hits, 5s, no. Right, the last of the plasma pistols. There's 2 here, and then 1 on the Sergeant. The Sergeant's not overcharging. The other 2 are. So they're firing at the Death Dread.
So the Sergeant.
Misses, unfortunately.
The furthest one there.
He's hit. Second one.
The second one to hit.
Yep. Both get it right. 3's to wound. Oh, only 1. And we are within range of the custom force field on the big mech.
Command roll that one, I think. That one I rolled.
Alright, so here we go. Second.
So 3s.
Second bite of the cherry. Gets it right. So, custom force field to the rescue. No, they both go through. So it's 4 damage. The Dread is on 4 wounds left. Right, that is the end of the World Eater's shooting phase, so time for the charges. So these Terminators are going to try and go in on the Death Dread with 6 wounds left, so they need a 9 to get in. Oh, double 6, they're in. Right, so the Terminators go into combat, and so do the nearest Berserker squad as well, so they're in. These fill their charge to try to wrap around the back of it. We've got these Berserkers now, they're going to charge into this Death Dread, and here we go. So they're going to need something special. That wasn't it. Right, so the Demon Prince is left with 2 options here. You can go for an 8-inch charge to try and get a Gruck up the barrels and up the wall, or you can try and get a 7-inch charge to the Dread and try and make up for this lost charge here, because he doesn't want to leave any of the vehicles alive. They're the only things that could potentially take the Demon Prince out himself, so he's going to get a preemptive strike. So 7-inch charge.
Command roll that.
Command reroll. Makes it. The Demon Prince goes in, and over here Khan goes in, and so do the Berserkers here. So it's looking good for the Berserkers, but they've got a hard choice to make. Selecting someone to go first here is crucial, because they know fine well the Orcs are going to play a counter-offensive stratagem, which means they'll jump the queue and fight second. So we've got a Dread here ready to fight, a Dread here ready to fight. All these boys can be activated all at once, so it's some chin scratching for the World Eaters. Okay, after much debate and thinking, there's not an easy choice to be made here. The World Eaters are going to choose to activate this Berserker unit here first. There's just too many boys that could be triggered, and they could even kill Khan and this whole squad, because there's a lot of them, a lot of attacks here. So they're just trying to get theirs off first, and then they're going to take the chances on the people who could possibly weather the storm. So there's not an easy option here, and that's what they're going to go for. So this unit of Berserker is going to try and carve the way through all of those boys. Right, Berserkers have fought. It was a poor round for them. They've only killed 7 Orcs. So now the Orcs will play a counter-offensive stratagem, and we're going to trigger a unit of fight. So strongly thought, that's definitely OE, we've carefully thought about triggering this unit. If we do that now, we're still more than 20 and we could have extra attacks. But in the scheme of things, it's not going to matter really, because the battle is over here. So we're going to just try and strike down this Demon Prince before anything happens, because this is the best case scenario out of all situations. So if we can just bring him down. So we're going to fight him. We've got damage 3 weapons. So if we just land 3 clean blows on him, it'll kill him because of his warlord trait. This gives him 9 wounds. So here we go. We've got 6 attacks to do it with, and we're hitting on 3s with the Death Dread. Come on, Sonny. Oh, he's hit with 3. That's all he needs. That's all he needs. He's going to wound on 3s though. So do we want to? We're going to command reroll this. And we do. We get it right. That's pretty important. So 3s to wound the Demon Prince because we are strength 10. Oh no, we're not going to kill him, but we're going to hurt him if he fails these. So 2 5+ invulnerable saves to make. Makes 1, so he's taking 3 damage. So actually no, he's got his warlord trait on top of that, so he can ignore wounds on a 6 on those 3 damage. Doesn't ignore them, so he's taking 3 wounds. So we've hurt him, but didn't kill him. After the Death Dread doesn't do much. The Compositors fight back, and this time they do a lot better. They've taken out 9 Orcs, I think, and Khan is ready to strike now. There's no stopping them in this combat. So Khan has 7 attacks. He doesn't re-roll 1s for himself, unfortunately, in combat. So these are wounded on 3s. Right, so there's that many Orcs slain. So 6 more Orcs, and then Khan will fight again if you want him to. Okay, so 6 Orcs meet their end. So Khan again. Yep, all but 1. 3s. Right, just dug out 2 there. 4. So 4 more skulls in the name of Khorne. Right, we're down to 2 Orcs left. So definitely not going to make it through our morale check, but we will get to fight at least. So there's the aftermath of that fight alone. Still got 2 Orcs left that will be able to fight, but there was once a big squad of boys there, and then there were none, just about. And Khan has claimed many a skull for Khorne today at least. So we'll fight back, but it's still more World Eaters charges to go. Still got the Demon Prince to fight, and this... Right, Demon Prince is going to fight. He's got 9 attacks. Hits on 2s. Rerolls 1s. Right, he is strength 6. No, he's strength 7, so he's wounding on 4s. These are all damage 2. Right, so an astonishing roll there. We have to save a lot of these. We've only got 4 wounds left, so 2 will kill us, and we've lost 2. Let's see if we explode. We do not explode, so the Demon Prince cuts us down in our prime. Right, we've moved on to this fight with the Terminators here. They've managed to kill the Death Dread. Just did it. And we're going to see if the Death Dread explodes.
Oh, no.
Right, so Terminator died in the explosion, a single Berserker died in the explosion, and 2 wounds on the Morgonaut. And then they consolidate forward, but they're not within an inch of the Morgonaut to fight, so they're just getting closer. So all of a sudden, it's looking completely different, because we've fought this combat here. Don't kill anyone, and these now fill their morale check because we've lost that many Orcs in one fight. So these are going to fill the morale check no matter what we do. And these will live on. So we got too close, I think, but that's just how the Orcs do business. We're not going to apologise for it. It's the Orky way. after the World Eaters counter-attack hard, the Orcs are going to do what they only know how to do, and that's counter-attack right back. So we've got the big boy unit coming around here. We're going to try and take on some of the power armoured units. The Morganort must take on the Terminators. And there's a Demon Prince here. He's already taken 3 wounds. If we can take him out all at once, then that'll stop the mission special rule where at the start of your turn you select a unit and D3 wounds are repaired. So we don't want them to do that, so we're going to try and take him out straight away. So the rocket boys have pulled around the building, they're going to have a shot at him. We've got the cans ready to go in, even the big mech, he's got his back up and he's going to go in as well. Meanwhile Gruck and his pain boy, they're just dropping back out of the combat. He will fire a rocket at him. He did advance 6, so he's got his running shoes on, but we need to take out that Demon Prince. Right, the Orcs have started shooting, asking questions later. So this big posse shoots down 3 berserkers, they do okay. Gruck fires a missile at the Demon Prince. The cans rockets fire at the Demon Prince actually do a lot of damage to him. He ended up with 4 wounds left. Then the truck fired at him, took off another 3 wounds, so he's left with 1 wound left. Thinking about firing the boys at him, but we just gave the honour to the rocket boys. The tank busters in the truck sent a bomb squig his way and it just blew up right in his shin. So the Demon Prince has died. He took a lot of wounds there. These rockets being 3 damage is just so potent. Just kills everyone they touch. Right, we're just summing up more Orc shooting. It's going pretty well. The Orc boys soften up that berserker unit down there, and then they're finally finished off by more expert shooting from the shot attack gun. Kills the last 2. There's an important power fist plasma pistol combo in there that just had to go, and it's gone, thankfully, for the Orcs. And over here there was 1 berserker left standing. The Morganort finally polished him off with the big shooters, and we killed 2 berserkers down there on the road with all the rest of the weaponry. Did give ourselves a mortal wound for firing off the custom stuff, but did get 2 berserkers in the end. And now we're going to charge these Terminators, so we're going to have the Morganort go in first and then this unit, I think. And then over here I think the cans might just go for a long charge down the road on those bikes. Right, charges for the Orcs. So the cans fill their charge. It was a long one, but they filled it. Morganort now goes in on the Terminators. They overwatched, overcharged as well, but didn't find the mark, but at least they didn't kill themselves. So the Morganort is in that combat. We're thinking about maybe putting the boys in, but there's a berserker unit just lurking at the back there. There's no reason to do that just yet. So here we go then. The Morganort comes away with 4 attacks times 3, so that's 12 attacks, and he's hitting on 3s. It's strength 8, damage 2, AP minus 2, so he's pretty lethal, or should dare we say that, because he could just not be. So we've missed 2, so that is a good start to proving his lethality. And then 2 to wound. Only missed 1. Right, so the Terminators are going to have to save 9 wounds here. Each of these is damage 2. So I can see 2. Any more? Because it's saving on 4. So the Terminators, there's 2 left. 2 did actually only die in the end. Amazing roll there, needing 4s to save. So 2 live. There's a chain fist and a power axe. Let's see what they can do. The chain fist terminated a fight. He's got 2 attacks because he's not on the charges of World Eaters, so he's only got 2. So he's hitting on 4s. So gets 1.
Reroll.
Command point re-roll. So no, doesn't make it. So 1 hit, and now needing a 4 again because he's toughness 8 this Morganort, and that does not do it either. Right, there's a power axe to go, and he's got 3 attacks because he's the champion. And he's hitting on 3s. Gets them all. Right, he's needing 5s. This is the hard part. Doesn't get anything. Alright, so that combat is a stalemate. Terminator's lost 2, but that's not going to be enough to cause a morale check. Alright, the World Eaters turn to their movement. So all of a sudden, there's hardly anyone on the table. They've dived back into the vehicles. So this unit here with Khan, they jump back into the Rhino. The Rhino's now speeding on. They need to hunt down Gruck. He's over the horizon there, he's almost gone. So they're coming after him, so Khan and his boys are off. And the bikes, they're joining in. Looks like they're going to try and shoot this big mech in the back, and the truck will come under fire from this Land Raider. He's just trying to slide away, probably down this street here to get a shot on Gruck eventually, because he couldn't go this way. The Morphonaut says no. So these Terminators pulled back out of combat. The Land Raider possibly has shots at it. It depends what goes on here. But the 3-man unit of Berserkers dove back into the Land Raider, so there's going to be a speedy push to try and get back to Gruck, because going through the Orcs is proving to be too slow here. So we've had bolt guns from the bikes at the big mech, just bounced off the back of these custom force field. Bolt gun, combi bolter from the Rhino did the same. So just the last thing to shoot here, because the Terminators did drop back, they can't shoot. So we're having the heavy bolters go at... what are they going at? Okay, so one las cannon sponson is going on the can that you can see there. The heavy bolters and other las cannon are going on the truck, because if they can take that down, then there's the tank busters exposed. So here we go then.
Can.
So the can, 2 las cannons, 1 hit, no wound. Sad to see from the las cannon. Right, we've got the heavy bolters. So going to do the las cannons. So 2-1 at the truck. There's 2 hits. Right, there's 1 wound. We are fully within 9 of the big mech. That's why I wanted to take him out. So we didn't get a 5+ save. We absorbed that las cannon shot. Just taking all that the World Eaters are given here. So 6 shots from the heavy bolters. And there's 4 hits, needing 5s. Gets 3. Right, we're going to have to save these on the custom force field save again. So Mick 2, Phil 1. So just a single wound on that ramshackle truck, proving to be harder than the World Eaters anticipated. Right, charges for the World Eaters. These bikes are going to go in on the mech, but not before he gets a good shot off with his custom blaster. Come on, mech. He's missed. Right, so the bikes, let's see what their charge range is. Should be enough. Anything but a double 1. Oh, it's close to a double 1. Corn have been up against it today, but they're going to reach it. So the bikes go in, and then the Rhino charges the killer cans. Don't take any damage in the overwatch from the cans. Just trying to get nearer to the Orcs here. So the bike's going to fight first. Hitting on 3s against the big mech. So it's pretty good, only 2 misses. And I'm going to have to check the toughness of the mech. I think he's only 4. Right, the big mech is strength 5, but he's only toughness 4, so 4's to wound. Oh, goodness. Well, he might as well be toughness 100, because that wasn't good enough at all. Right, the Rhino has got 3 attacks onto the cans. Needing 6s, this is just desperate. World Eaters just fed up with the Orcs at the moment.
Fed up with these wound attempts.
No, so the Rhino doesn't do it. So the can, they will attack back. Going to choose to fight with the big mech. He's going to give these bikes the business. So he's got a big chopper, and he's got 3 attacks. So he's hitting on 3. Gets 2. So needing 3s to wound, and he's not wounding either. Right, cans fighting. Cans fighting. We've got 1 can and another can behind him because he's within an inch. So these got 3 attacks each, but they only hit on 5s. So we get 3 hits, and these are strength 8. So we need 3s. So we'll only get 1. I think we use a command reroll. Yes, so there's 2. It's AP minus 3. You need saves of 6 there on 2 dice. Nope, so that's 6 damage in total. The Rhino's been halved. Alright, so with that is the end of the World Eater's turn. Not happy with the way things have gone, but it's been all the Orcs so far, it's been all their way. And the World Eaters are struggling to penetrate that Orc line. They did well over here with the initial Orc attack, but they're nowhere near Gruck. There he is in the background. And it's time for Orcs turn 3. it's Orcs turn 3, and the Orcs feel in control, which is not something they can say often. It's an alien concept to them. So what we have here is we've got the cans. They piled in last turn, so they're getting around the rhino, just ready to try and finish that off. It's only got 4 wounds left. The tank busters, they're rolling on down the street. They are within 12 of this land raider behind this building here. So we're going to try and put some more shots in on it there. We've got the shot attack gun ready to light it up as well. There's 2 Terminators left. If we can just clear off 2 units here, we think that the Orcs have this one in the bag. The big mech pulls out of that combat, exposes the 2 bikes. We've got the Orcs here ready to just hose them down, so we're going to have to see how this works out. Gruck takes a big long look at this situation and decides, look, it's time to pull back and just get this one for the lads. So he runs, as does the Pain Boy, and then so does his trusty boy squad, so they're protecting Lord and Saviour Gruck. So he's pretty much disappearing over the horizon here. There's not a lot the World Eaters can do about it. It's going to be another painful turn from the Orcs. It's going well so far for the Orcs. We've played the Taka brand new stratagem on these Orcs and managed to polish off the 2 bikes. It does work, that data stratagem, even on just boys. Saw it work on the rockets, and even just your humble shooter works. So they're gone now, just totally eradicated. The Gorkanaut tries to shoot these Terminators dead, but they survive, so it's going to have to be just done in combat. The Orcs are not too bothered about that really. The Orcs are at home there. Alright, so now we've got rockets. Going to shoot down the street at this land raider. Going to try and make it feel like it's other one. So 10 shots, hitting on 5s. We get a reroll because we're targeting a vehicle. Oh, look at that! Only 2 misses. These rocket boys know how to do business. 4s to wound. Only 2 wounds. AP -2, so the land raider saves on 4. So 1 goes through, but 1 is 3 damage. It's just no joke. And then the rocket from the truck, no, doesn't do it. Right, well, the last shot of the turn, it's the shot attack gun. He's been doing well all game. He's going to try and have a go at this land raider. It's got 13 wounds left. Let's see what he can do. So it's going to be strength 9 again. He is a star, this guy. So how many shots are coming out of this? 4. Not too bad at all. But he's hitting on 5s. Gets 2. Wounds on 3s. Oh. Gah. Alright, combat. The Gorkanaut goes in. Doesn't take any damage from the Overwatch. So it's worth mentioning again that the twist for the mission restores wounds on certain models. So we've restored 2 wounds on the Gorkanaut at the start of the turn, so that's worth mentioning. So he's just not even going down a little bit against the World Eaters to their frustration. So we're going to end their frustration and their lives with a massive claw of Gork. So we've got loads of attacks there. We're hitting on 3s, and we're needing 2s to wound now. So again, these are damage 2. Okay, 1 escapes us, and 6 wounds there. Terminators save on 4, not this time. A wipe out for the Terminators. Right, the cans are up next to try and crump the Rhino and manage to do 3 wounds on it, but the Rhino saves 3 times, or has 3 saves to make, and gets a double 6 and survives with 1 wound left. So Khan and the Berserkers in that Rhino are sweating, but they're still alive, and the Rhino is just on its last leg now. So what can the World Eaters do? They've just got a Rhino there with Khan and the squad of Berserkers in, and then a Land Raider starting to crack, and it's got 3 Berserkers in. Right, World Eaters could turn out to be the last hurrah for them. They're getting out of this severely damaged Rhino. They're going to just take it to the cans. Khan, he's going to look for 1 more skull for the Skull God. Okay, so in the World Eaters turn 3, it could very well be the last hurrah for them. This severely damaged Rhino pulls back out of combat. The Berserkers that were in it are out, and they're going to fight these cans. Khan rolls on. He's going to go for 1 more skull for the Blood God. He needs 1 more skull, always needs 1 more skull. And this Land Raider, it's just pulling up the street here. It's going to get some shots at the Morkanaut, but it's a long way to Gruk. So we're going to see a glorious turn for Khorne this time, perhaps, maybe. Okay, so the Khan's come under fire. Khorne shoots one of them with his overcharged plasma pistol, gets 2 wounds. This plasma pistol does 2 wounds and then finish them off with a well-placed pistol shot. So one Khan's gone down. Let's see if it explodes. Oh.
As always.
So every model within 3 takes a mortal wound, or every unit within 3 rather takes a mortal wound. Khan has exploded and everyone's taking a wound now, and the Rhino takes its last wound because of that explosion. So let's see if the Rhino blows up. No. So no more trivial explosions. The World Eaters are struggling on. So the Land Raider is going to fire at the Morkanaut. So here we go. The last cannons. 3 hits. 3 to wound. Gets all 3. Right, so we're saving on 5s because of the custom force field. Next 2, only 1 goes through. The World Eaters just can't get a break. And that's 5 damage. So he had 13 wounds, so he's been brought down to 8 now. And the heavy bolters. Yeah, that's not too bad. 4 hits, 5 to wound. Just a 1, right, so we're saving on 4 now. Notice there's another wound, so there's 7 wounds left. So it wasn't too bad. Right, the Morkanaut, or the Morkanaut, is starting to smoke now. So it's straight on to charge phases. Khorne is going to go in on the big mech. The big mech is going to snipe him with his custom blaster. And he hits in the Overwatch. Strength 8 needed 2. That's a 1. We're going to use a command reroll. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. Oh! Gah! Right, so the Berserkers, they're going in as well. And they're going to have Veterans of the Long War played on them, so they're going to be able to get +1 to the dice roll for when they try to wound. Alright, so these Berserkers fight first. So they chop the Khan down. Just with Veterans of the Long War making that very easy work. So a Khan could explode here. No, it does not explode. So lost a Khan. And now it is Khorne or the Berserkers to fight again. Who do you want to do? Alright, so Khorne is going to fight now. He's going to fight the Big Mac. 7 attacks. And he rerolls. No, he doesn't. Doesn't reroll once, right? 3s to wound. Okay, that is deadly stuff. No saves at all there. Can't do anything about it. So each one of those is D3 wounds. And he's dead. He's totally dead. So his skull just flies off into the crowd there. The Orcs cheer. Right, the Berserkers fight again and put 2 wounds on the Khan. And the Khan kills 2 with his buzzy drill thing. So 2 of them have died, and then Khorne, because he can be triggered again, because he charged, doesn't need to be within an inch of a unit to be triggered because he charged. He goes 3 towards the Khan and gets around the back of it, so he's locked into combat with the Khan. Can't fight him now that he's because he didn't declare it as a charging unit and the Khan is already fought, so no more blows are going to be done there. But Khorne has found the refuge of combat, and this Khan is now surrounded. Alright, the Orcs are going to try and take Khorne out. They did appreciate the entertainment of the head just being locked off into the crowd there, but the Orcs still care about their own, even just a little bit. So Khorne's going to pay for that big time. We've got all the Orcs, all the shooters trained on Khorne. The Khan, he ducks out of combat, that's why he's exposed now, and the rocket boys just getting the drop on these Berserkers. Loads of rockets there, lethal stuff. They've been the unit of the game so far. It's absolutely savage. And if you're wondering where was Snickrot, it turns out he was so good at hiding, he hid too well. Completely out of the battle, he hid and never turned up. So he's too good at hiding. That's what we can say. So Crook, he's just inching off the battlefield here. He could leave, but he's going to fire a rocket at Khorne, see if he can get that glorious kill. And shot attack gun once again. It's going to put his shooting on this Land Raider, and as you can see, the Morkanaut is making steps to come and put that to the sword, or the big claw rather. Khorne is under massive pressure here. We fired the big shooters at him and didn't hit, but the twin shooter from the boss stripped 2 wounds off Khorne, and now he's got 5 to save because of all the shooters. He's under massive pressure here. 3 plus Saves all but one, so he's taking 4 wounds now. I think he's only got 1 left. Right, so Khan, on his last wound, Gruk is going to be the one to finish him off here. He's going to send one of those curly missiles coming his way. And he's missed. 2 curly. Right, Khan's doing well, but he's still got to put up with more. There's 2 big shooters have shot at him, and there's 4 wounds to be saved. And that 3+ save, and he's only got 1 wound left. Khan goes off to the red sky. Alright, over here then, the rocket boys try to shoot in on these 2 berserkers and just don't hit. Their rockets prove to be too curly as well, and they've just gone off into the distance. Because if you played the Space Marine game, when the Orcs fire a rocket, it goes whoosh, and goes anywhere. So that's a curly rocket. If you didn't know, now you know. So the custom shooter, shot attack gun, fires on the Land Raider. It's a strength 8 shot, but he just doesn't crank out enough, so no damage there. Then the Morkanaut fires on the berserkers down there, doesn't get them, and then all the big guns on the Land Raider, still nothing. So we're going to have to get it done in combat, so we're going to have to make it through the Overwatch of the Land Raider, and then the rocket boys over here are going to make their way in on these 2 berserkers. Right, so the truck goes in first, absorbs the Overwatch, and now the boys are in on that berserker squad. So over here the Morkanaut is charging into the Land Raider, so the Land Raider will Overwatch. So 4 las cannons, 2 hits, 3's to wound, gets 2. We'll have to save on invulnerable. Actually no, we'll get a save through the wall there surely. So 4s, in fact no, because they cut through the wall, because the las cannon filled those both. It's 2d6, they might just kill it. 5 wounds. Right, we're dying very slowly. And then heavy bolters, so 6 shots. 2.
2, yeah.
There's another one. Right, save another 3. Gets it. Right, took a bit of damage there getting in, but right, the tank busters, they do in those last 2 berserkers, so they're dead now. It was too easy for them. Loads of attacks. And then the Morkanaut, not so easy for him. He's severely damaged and misses all of his attacks on the Land Raider, and the Land Raider doesn't do anything back. So there's only the Land Raider left with 3 berserkers in, and the World Eaters are just going to call it a day there. Gruk is disappearing off over the horizon into the sunset with that skull. He doesn't really know why he's got that skull, but he knows that other people want it, so it must be dead good.
Yeah.
Okay, so the World Eaters definitely met the match then in the volume of attacks arena. Just 2 forces going at each other like that. But we knew that was going to be a really difficult one for the World Eaters when we saw all the stipulations and how they rolled out and how it all played out. But it was a brave attempt, but the Orcs just shut the door on them, and Gruk disappears off into his looted Thunderhawk.